Hello, everyone. We're here to open up another pack of Star Trek the Card Game from 1996. If you watched my last pack opening video, I gave you a little background on my limited experience with this game. I am still building my collection. I am still learning how to play the game. I played a few games with some friends who are also learning how to play the game. I've been in conversation with people online. So I'm going to open up this pack, make comments about it and deck building as I do, but also want to remind you that I have very limited experience. This is a game that only had one expansion. So there's only two different sets out there, the base set and the one expansion called Starfleet Maneuvers. It's very cheap. You can see that I got this pack for $1.25 at a local flea market. But there's not a lot of content out there. There's the community is very small. So I'm going to give you the best strategy and thoughts I can as I open the pack, but I feel like I've got a lot to learn. So just keep that in mind if you're an experienced player. All right, without further ado, let's dive in. Oh, great card for the first one. This is the discovery for Tomorrow is Yesterday. It says the crew figures a way to manipulate time. What makes this so good is the second ability here. You get 1 XC if you complete the episode with this card, but then it says draw up to your full hand after taking XC. This is a huge, huge bonus to this card because you can draw back up to 7, which then refills your hand with wild cards that you'll need to play during your opponent's turn, or challenge cards that you'll need to play on your opponent's turn. I watched a video. It was on Studio Sequim, I think is how you say it, or Studio Squim. Forgive me, David, if I'm mispronouncing your YouTube channel. Um, but his opponent talked about how he played with 4 copies of this card because it was so good, and it clued me in. It made me realize, oh yeah, anytime you can draw cards in a card game, that's a good thing. So really, if you don't have copies of this card and you want to play this game, I think this is one of the best discoveries out there. All right, the alternative factor. The captain discovers that the universe's existence is threatened by an antimatter universe. Yes, this is the Lazarus episode. So if you complete the episode, you get +2 XC, and then you have to do an icon flip. So I shouldn't say complete the episode. If you complete an episode with this discovery card, then this happens. So this is one of those discoveries that has a good and a bad. You can play it when it's your turn, or you can play it as the challenging player on the other player's turn. You could win 2XC, but you risk an icon flip, which of course means your characters could be killed or neutralized. So I like the good and the bad episode cards. Plot card for Arena. A race of powerful beings forces a duel between rival captains. Love it. It's where we see the Gorn. +2 XC. All crew and landing party with combat rating of 4 or below are neutralized. Boom. It's another one like I just described on the previous. It's good for you to play on your turn because you want the +2 XC and you can plan around this, or this is a good card because you can play it as the challenging player during the opponent's turn, and they might not see it coming, and so their crew members that have a combat rating of 4 or below are then neutralized. Love it. The Squire of Gothos. There he is, right there. Is he a Q? Is he not a Q? I think if you look up in the those who know Trek lore deeply, he is not a Q, but he's not a member of the Q continuum, but he sure acts like it in this episode. You gotta wonder if Q is inspired by this guy. Anyway, an impudent but powerful alien forces the crew to submit to his hospitality. +2 XC, episode cannot be abandoned voluntarily. Not bad. I would like to build a deck around this just because I have watched this episode so many times. Oh, here we go. Wild card, Samuel T. Cogley, attorney. Gotta love this. I think this was in the episode Court Martial is when he appears. Great dude. I felt like he was a character that had the show gone on, they could have brought him back because he was such a rich, kooky, kind of well done down-home wisdom, a lawyer with lots of down-home wisdom and little quirks. Anyway, he is a 165, so that is not bad. Those are good stats on humanity and logic. Play to join the landing party before first plot card. All challenge cards with argue action or computer attribute or the computer attribute. There's no the there, but so challenge cards with argue action or computer attribute are at -2 to all ratings when Cogley isn't played. That's pretty sweet. Discard at the end of episode. That's a good wild. I mean, he's strong. It's like having another crewman, and it totally disrupts those two things that you could be facing. Yeah, I like that a lot. Like I said, great character from the original show. The mission for Squire of Gothos. USS Enterprise investigates an undiscovered world in an interplanetary void. And Uhura gets this message, hip hip hurrah, tally ho. +2 XC. All challenges are at +1 to logic rating. I mean, this second half isn't that big a deal, but +2 XC, especially if you're going for the whole Squire of Gothos episode, you've got 4 XC in just those 2 cards. That's actually not bad. Plus, if you played the third one and got it, if you played the Discovery, then you'd get the episode bonus. So, yeah, not bad. I think this is a common card, but I can see it. Oh, yes. Half the cards are always upside down in these packs. All right. Plot card for Shore Leave. Those are the Easter Bunny's prints, if I remember correctly. The crew is beset by beings from their own fantasies, ranging from charming to deadly. +2 XC and an icon flip. So that is the same as the Discovery here. So you could, if you really wanted to force icon flips in a game, you could put in a lot of these, 4 of these cards and 4 of these cards, and continually try to force your opponent to do icon flips, or have some way to survive if you play them on your turn. So you can get the 2 XC, and then like maybe through a wild or something else, you can survive or mitigate the effects of these icon flips. So something to consider. Oh, here's the first card in the pack that is new to me. A challenge card, one of Mudd's women, Eve McUrin. McHuron? I'll say McUrin. She is a 2/4/2, so not too strong. Eve is an ally of Harry Mudd and a beautiful temptress. So I really would like to build a Mudd's Women deck that has multiple copies of each of the individual women, as well as the card called Mudd's Women, and then the Mudd's Women episode cards. But so far, the actual characters are not very strong, so I don't know if I'm going to build that deck. It's just such an iconic episode. I would like to do it, but 2/4/2 with no abilities, no attributes. She's got the tempt one, so that's really what you'd be building around in the deck, is how can you maximize cards that have tempt. And I know the Mudd's Women episode cards do that, as well as make it harder for the opponent to survive tempt actions, or tempt challenges with tempt, I should say. So anyway, but I'm glad to have a new card. Ooh, I can't remember. This might be another card that is new to me. It's the Discovery card for Court Martial. Great episode, as we talked about with Cogley. Evidence of computer tampering clears the captain and saves the ship from danger. All right, small text. This is unusual. +3 XC. Don't see that a lot. Immediately neutralize 1 crew currently in landing party. If this removes the last crew in the landing party, the current player receives no XC. Ooh. So big reward, but big potential downside. That's really interesting. +3 XC. Immediately neutralize 1 crew in the landing party. If this removes the last crew in the landing party, the current player receives no XC. So going back to our other idea about building a deck around icon flips, if you could force the opponent to do lots of icon flips, they could potentially have a lot of crew neutralized or not in the landing party anymore. And then you play this card and they end up getting no XC. So, just thinking out loud, maybe that's how you can maximize this card. Court Martial, the mission. I think this might be new to me as well. I don't think I had either of these Court Martial cards. I have to check. If I do, I think it's only this one, and I might have one copy, but I really don't remember that text. So I think both these are new. But I feel like I have the plot card. That's all I'm missing here. Mission, Court Martial. After a powerful ion storm, the captain is charged with negligence in a crewman's death. Plus 2 XC. The Enterprise loses half its XC, round down, unless current player controls crew with engineering. All right. Makes sense. So, yeah. So the Enterprise wouldn't be in the episode, at least not with these two cards, but it would still lose half its XC, which hurts both players, rounded down, unless the current player controls crew. And it says control, so they don't even have to be in the landing party. They just need to have Scotty in their what do you call it? On their side of the board. Not landing party, but in their crew complement, I think is what it's called. Interesting. All right. Nice. Ah, another card that is new to me. Challenge card. It's Kang. Look at his big smiling face. Attack or command. He is a 6/2/5. He's pretty strong. He's got a couple words here, keywords. A Klingon captain, 2 keywords, whose ship was destroyed by an energy creature that fed on negative emotions. How much I hate those energy creatures that feed on negative emotions. I feel like I've worked with a few energy creatures that feed on negative emotions. Anyway, +1 to all ratings. If permanent wild, a Klingon battlecruiser is in play. Oh, yeah. And pay 1 XC from your power base. So he does cost you 1 in order to bring him out, but for good reason. He's got 2 strong stats. He's got 2 keywords. He's got 2 different types of challenges. And he's got this bonus that if you've got the Klingon battlecruiser, then he's a 7/3/6. So, like, yeah, this guy's a game winner. I don't have the list of rarities in front of me, but I have a sense that this is probably the rare in the pack, or maybe a very rare in the set. So sweet. Welcome, Kang. I will build a Klingon deck someday. A wild. Jim, this man's a Klingon. Speaking of Klingon, this of course is from The Trouble with Tribbles. Great episode. If you haven't seen the DS9 version of this episode, you definitely need to watch that as well. Anyway, play on a challenge card. The card is Klingon for the duration of the episode. All other attributes are lost. Okay. So in some bizarro world where you don't have any better challenge card to play than Eve McEuron here and her 2/4/2 with no abilities, you could turn her into a Klingon in a Klingon deck and somehow, get more Klingon bonuses. Hopefully you'd have a better challenge card than Eve, but, you might not. I might not. Anyway, whatever challenge card you have in there, Baylock or whoever, they can become a Klingon and get that bonus as well. This might have been, I don't know for sure. I'd have to go back and look, but this might have been one of the episodes where they introduced in Star Trek, one of the first episodes, if not the first episode, where they introduced the idea that surgery, facial and genetic surgery, was so advanced in the far future that they could literally make an alien from another race look like a human, or vice versa. Which of course they have done in every Star Trek series since. They made Kirk look like Picard look like a Romulan. They made Kira look like a Cardassian. They've gone on and on. They've changed people's genetic makeup to make them look like completely different races. but this might have been the first time. I'm not sure. I'd have to go back and watch all the early episodes in the right order again, but I feel like that could have been it. Anyway, crew. Lieutenant Robert Tomlinson. I've got this guy. I think he's a common, but he's got some stuff here. His stats are weak, but he's got some things to say. So he's a 3-2-2, so that's nothing strong. He's a phaser control officer. I don't believe that matters with other cards. I don't think there are other cards that really sync with that, but I could be wrong. At least not in the base set. Here's something, though. Ship's phasers. Pay 1 XE to increase the combat rating of the USS Enterprise by +2 for the remainder of the episode. So, if you're building an Enterprise Matters deck, where you're bringing the Enterprise in to your landing party over and over, and you want to make sure the Enterprise is winning challenges, you might consider running at least one or maybe a few copies of Lieutenant Robert Tomlinson. He's like, oh yeah, I'm going to increase that. Here we go. Planetary Guards. I just watched this episode recently. This is, what's it called? I think it's called A Taste of Armageddon. I believe this is the episode from A Taste of Armageddon. Their hats are just ridiculous. It's a great episode. It's a great episode. But these guys are just the stormtroopers of the episode. They just run around and get shot. Or get their nerves pinched or whatever. Their necks pinched. So it's a capture 422. They're called Planetary Guards. A local military force. They are armed with sonic disruptors. If you have not watched A Taste of Armageddon lately, I encourage you to go back and watch that. In our world of drone warfare, of video games that are intensely real, things like that, it's an interesting episode to watch. It's also, if you think about the reality of suicide, it's also offering some commentary there that I don't know how to make sense of. I just watched it recently, though, and I found it both hysterical at different points. It's full of great one-liners. It's one of the best written ones if you love one-liners. Like at one point, like Scotty goes, "Aye, the haggis is in the fire," and it's just like multiple times. Like Spock lies at one point. He tells a crewman to sit on another person at another point, and it's funny. But it's also like, it's about a terrible situation that would involve mass suicide. So there's like serious, it makes you think seriously about some things too. So anyway, go back and watch that episode and enjoy the Planetary Guard's ridiculous hats. Okay. Oh yeah. Love this card. I've got one of them already. Now I've got two. Great Bird of the Galaxy. Got George Takei looking awesome. Negates any wild or permanent wild card just played. Both cards are removed from the game. So in Magic terms, if you're a Magic the Gathering player, this is like a counter spell. Somebody plays a wild and you go, whoop, nope. Sulu's here with his bowl of soup to negate that. Great card. Love it. I also played Overpower. I still play it, but when I was a teen, when I was in the mid and late 90s and CCGs were booming, Overpower was one of my favorite games, one of the main games of my friend group. And in Overpower, there's a card called Avoids, that you avoid one attack, or you avoid this attack, or avoid that attack. It's the same type of thing. It's like a counter spell. It's like somebody does something and you whoop, swoop in and surprise them. Great Bird of the Galaxy is the counter spell, the surprise card, the avoid one attack. See, anything else? Is that the last one? That's the last one. All right, so I'm the most excited to get another Great Bird of the Galaxy. I will be building a Taste of Armageddon deck, so it's nice to have another Stormtrooper, I guess. I will be building an Enterprise Matters deck, so it's nice to have that. I'm very excited about 2 new Klingon cards. Someday, build a Klingon deck. Court Martial is a great episode, and I'm pretty sure I already had a Cogley. Pretty sure those are both new to me. This is a little mediocre, but like I said, I would like to build a Mud's Women deck at some point, just because it's such an iconic episode. I only have one of the other women, and then I have one of the challenge cards called Mud's Women, and I don't have Mud yet. So I'm missing one of the women. I'm missing a Mud. And ideally I would have duplicates and triplicates, maybe quadruplicates of all of these to make the deck work. So I'm a long ways away from bringing that to life, but these other cards could fit in more quickly. Well, I'm a ways away from the Taste of Armageddon deck too. But like a Klingon deck, an Enterprise Matters deck, these I'll use very quickly, or more likely soon. Great counterspell, so to speak. All right, and then the rest of these I'm pretty sure are commons. Very excited to get another one of those. Been putting it in every deck I build. So yeah, it's not a bad pack. I mean, I'm still early in my collecting, so I'm still getting quite a few cards I don't already own. But not a bad pack. Thanks so much for watching. And if you have comments on my comments, please share them. As I said, I'm still learning this game. And I'll be opening more packs soon.